briefly touch their forearm just once during the initial meeting when the order was being taken. When this single initial touch had been made, the chance of the customer leaving a tip increased by 128%. The researchers found that a touch creates an unspoken, unconsciously remembered bond between two people. So, how can you use the magic touch to make deals, help you succeed, attract somebody, get what you want? After all, the waitress only touches the customer when first taking the order, not when actually bringing the bill. The unconscious mind seems to notice and file away the magic touch and can act on it even after a period of time has passed. And the connection between touch and persuasion has been recorded not just in the waitress experiment, but in numerous studies elsewhere. For instance, it was found that a brief touch increased the answer rate to a street survey, and customers who were briefly touched by an employee when entering a shop increased the amount of time they spent in there, as well as the amount of money. Be careful where you touch. According to the Wrighton study, it has to be specifically on the forearm. Touch them in the wrong place and be responsible for your own actions. It is a touch on the forearm for 1 to 2 seconds. As a rule, the forearm is not considered an intimate part of the body, but it is intimate enough to make a connection. Use the magic touch on the forearm when you want to make an unconscious, unspoken connection. Wrighton concludes that managers should encourage all staff to touch more, saying that employees feel more fulfilled and customers feel more content and satisfied too. Who would have known that a simple touch could make everybody so happy? I know you were wondering about Wrighton's other persuasion study on hitchhiking. For the record, then, here is the account of what happened. To test the effect of a woman's bust size on the rate of help offered, 1,200 male and female French motorists were tested in a hitchhiking situation. A 20-year-old female Confederate wore a bra that permitted variation in the size of cup to vary her breast size. She stood by the side of the road, frequented by hitchhikers, and held out her thumb to catch a ride. Increasing the bra size of the female hitchhiker was significantly associated with an increase in the number of male drivers, but not female drivers, who stopped to offer a ride. Is anyone actually surprised by the result of this research? Changing position. For some years now, I've been a very awkward restaurant customer. It's just, I really don't like the standard restaurant table layout for 2 people, where one sits opposite the other. I found whenever I sat at 45 degrees to someone in a restaurant instead of opposite them, we seemed to have a better time. Of course, when you think about it, this makes sense. Facing someone directly is seen as confrontational, like a kind of squaring up. Sitting at 45 degrees, or even virtually alongside them, is more friendly, conspiratorial. So why do restaurants keep laying out tables like this? I went to the super posh eatery, The Ivy, in LA recently. My friend and I walked in, and there, laid in front of us, were row after row of tables for 2 with seating directly opposite each other. They were so tightly bunched together I couldn't do my usual trick and get the staff to switch the table around. I was physically closer to the strangers sitting to the left and right of me than I was to my friends sitting opposite me. A more persuasive position is at 45 degrees to the other person, or even virtually next to them. And it's not only about persuasiveness. You may also find it's much easier to form a bond with someone when sitting or standing at this angle. So, yes, I'm the awkward one in restaurants who asks for the tables to be moved around and reset. The change in position results in a more comforting and more relaxed atmosphere. I know it's not always convenient, but when possible, you may well find it results in better rapport and communication. This applies when you're standing and talking to somebody as well as when seated. In the workplace, in a meeting, with friends or with family, change position to improve communication to get what you want. Position yourselves on 2 corners of a table at a 45-degree angle, rather than directly opposite. When you improve your communication, you make the other person more receptive to you, and then you can start to be more persuasive too. The most persuasive word in the world. The word because has a special power in the English language.